You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess you're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right. This is a preview episode for episode 156, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. That may sound like an odd choice because we told you that we were going to be doing When They See Us as episode 156 and 157. But due to scheduling and what have you, we're going to have to push it back one episode. So A Thin Line Between Love and Hate is obviously starring Martin Lawrence and Lynn Whitfield. This is the 1996 American dark comedy romance, like revenge romance movie. It's on Netflix right now. So this is another like fairly light movie before we get into like the super heaviness of When They See Us. Again, the When We See Us episode will be split into two episodes. First two episodes of the series for episode 157 and episode 158 will be episode 3 and 4. So again, you can watch A Thin Line Between Love and Hate on Netflix right now. Okay, so for the preview topic, it's many topics because we asked folks in our fan group. You can go to blackonblackcinema.com/fans to join the fan group. We just asked them for topics and they just gave us a bunch. So we're going to just try to have a little bit of fun and go through as many as we can in the next like 40 minutes or so. So, Micah, take it away.
We asked for these last week, so I think most of these still keep. TR starts us off. Talk about non-black people of color explaining to black people about oppression by the United States. Now, that might seem like it's coming out of nowhere, but no, the three of us know someone, a couple of people that are white passing minorities, and they try to every now and again they try to oppress explain what it's like to be a minority in America.
Were you guys aware of this? I think we got it. Appreciate you.
You're aware of structural racism in the United States? Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Were you aware of that? I wasn't. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about.
You just learned that
structural racism. I just learned that like 2 weeks ago. Someone was really nice enough to tell me what the fuck structural racism was in America. Like I haven't been pulled over by the police several times and had guns pulled out of me by the cops because I don't know what the fuck that means.
Right.
It was just the cut of your jib. They just didn't appreciate it. They were like, this guy. Let's pull him over.
Or that people of color are proportionally thrown in prison because whatever. I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that.
Right.
It's good to know. I'm super fucking shocked. That shit made me so fucking mad, yo.
I was surprised. You handled yourself surprisingly well. Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea that like folks who can and when we say pass, we don't mean like they're pretending to be white, just mean physically people wouldn't know that they're minorities, right?
Like if I look at you walking down the street and I hear you open your mouth, you look white.
Yeah. And look, I mean, some people can pass, right? Again, that doesn't mean that you're trying to, or that you don't identify with, you know, the issues of people who quote unquote can't pass, right? As white. But just this notion of trying to, oppression explain to black people who absolutely cannot pass. No one has ever assumed, looking at any of us, maybe listening to us, but looking at any of us, that we are not anything but black. So I guess it's irritating from the perspective of nobody in this country truly knows what it's like to be easily identified from a distance and sort of racially profiled more than black people do. Like they just, sorry, they don't. You can spot a nigga in a crowd of white people very easily. Like it is what it is. So yeah, I try not to racially explain other minority experiences. because I don't know what it's like to be them. I don't know what it's like to be a person who could pass, right? Because that also creates a whole different dynamic as well.
Right.
So basically, you should probably just shut the fuck up, I think is what I'm saying. Like, just don't tell people how to understand racism that they've experienced, because or racism in general. If both of you have experienced it, because your experience is just because you're both minorities doesn't mean they're the same. I can guarantee you a white passing Latino person's racial experiences are not the same as mine. Doesn't mean they're better or worse. They're just not the same as mine.
Right.
Yeah, Jose. Henry says, talk about the need to have a will and financial planning / wealth building in the Black community.
Oh, that is super important. My grandmother didn't have a will.
She did or did not?
She did not. And
I don't have a will right now either.
And her sons started wilding because that's just how that fucking happens. Yeah, so it's pretty fucking important. Absolutely important. Yeah. If you don't have one, fucking make one. I don't have one yet, but there was a lot of assets that she could have a lot of headache would have been diverted had she had one. So yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's my dad and my uncle were gifted the house that they grew up in when their mother died. And at first it was an issue, but my uncle, who is a handyman, like he is, he's a master plumber and he knows a bunch of people who can, do that type of work. He put in a ton of work into that house. So my father was like, all right, my father's the eldest. So I guess he felt like entitled to some of it, but like my uncle put in the work to make that house livable.
Sounds very interesting. My father put in all of the money to make that house worth a damn. But continue. Go ahead.
The story sounds weird.
So, well, hopefully it has this ending. So my father decided to take a minority cut, and my uncle sold it to my cousin, and now she is going to rent it out to white people because where they used to live in D.C. is becoming gentrified. So
get that money.
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't work. I'd try to charge them double.
Yeah, that was fucking 12 years ago. 2007? Yeah, it ain't resolved yet. 12 years.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Fucking mess.
Yeah, that's not good.
But stuff like this is something that I think Black people don't know they can do. Like, yeah, you can do this. Like, you can have a will. You can have, life insurance.
Well, yeah, that's important. I mean, like I have life insurances. Well, like basically, like if I die, all my assets go to my wife, obviously. But there's also the idea of our lifespan is far less than white Americans, right? Especially as Black men, are sadly our life expectancy is far less. Yep. Yeah, it's really important to have those kind of things in place if you have a family, or if you don't, like, and you just have some level of assets that you want to pass on to people. It's a good idea. And I'm saying this as a person who does not actively have a will, and I should have one, especially now. So yeah, it makes sense.
Leonardo says, how are you guys doing? What made you happy today? Coming home to my boy. That made me happy.
Terrence?
I ain't happy.
Wow. Okay, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what made me happy. A bunch of memes, maybe. I don't know.
A bunch of memes.
Waking up in the morning. Getting up in the morning. Whatever.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Me coming home to my new daughter, which is fucking crazy. Which is that's a true statement. Yeah. That's it.
Laura says, this is a lot, but Joe Budden and Crystals.
I don't know who that is.
Crystal. I can't remember what podcast they are. The Read
is that
from
the Read? Is that
yeah.
the
I think it is the Read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Budden and Crystal's Twitter argument over ASAP Rocky being detained overseas. The real conversation surrounds black people making anti-black tweets, and then when they get in a jam, bring up old statements to either justify their current situation or folks saying we should have empathy.
Okay, so let me explain the situation the best I understand it.
Well, I know that situation, but I don't know the two. I don't know the tension between Joe Budden and Crystals, or however you pronounce his name.
Right. So the idea was A$AP Rocky, the rapper, got arrested in Sweden, I think, right?
Yeah.
And his situation there has been like really fucking like crazy. Like he's in some prison, like sleeping on like a yoga mat on a floor, and there's like rats, and like it's just like really awful situation, right? Apparently a number of years ago, they had asked him in an interview, like it was like surrounding Ferguson, and they were like, so, you know, like, what are your thoughts? And he was like, I'm not concerned about that. Like, I'm a rapper. I'm concerned about getting this money and fucking bitches. Like, basically is what he said, right? He was like, that's just not, I'm not a political activist. Like, that's just not my thing. So when people were talking on, I guess, on social media about how fucked up it was that A$AP Rocky is in this situation, and how like having empathy for him being in this situation, I think that this person from the Read, and again, I may not be exactly right, but I'm pretty sure the person from the Read was like, yeah, but what about all these black people that were suffering in Ferguson when he said XYZ a number of years ago? And Joe Budden's point was like, just because he was fucking dumb about what he said on Ferguson doesn't change my feeling that it's fucked up that he's in this situation. And basically, why is it that you're promoting this like super pro black thing, but then you turn around and just throw people under the bus because they fucked up on a statement and they're going through some serious shit? That's my understanding of the situation. That being said, like, however the argument, I'm not going to go with the Joe Budden versus the person from the Read, Crystal. I'm not going to say who's right or wrong there, but I would say that somebody making a shitty point a number of years ago, even something as ridiculous as like, I don't really give a fuck about Ferguson, to me, it shouldn't change your own personal empathy for somebody being in a fucked up situation. I can understand how it could, but for me, I don't change that, especially on a person I don't know. Like, I don't know A$AP Rocky personally, so it's not like he's done something to me where I'm like, fuck that guy personally. Like, he's just in a fucked up situation. As a black man, he's overseas in a predominantly white country. Like, no, that's fucked up. And I feel for that guy. That's a horrible situation. I can't imagine. So whatever he said about Ferguson, yeah, it's fucked up, but to me, it's irrelevant. Either you support black people in fucked up situations or you don't. Like, I don't understand hedging based, especially if you don't know the person. That seems weird.
Well, a lot of that is just like the culture that we live in now, the cancel culture. Like,
and that's basically it. That's my understanding.
Right. And I don't necessarily believe in that. Look, I'm as vindictive as anybody, right? Like, I am not one to give people too many chances. But one thing, I think in this case, one thing doesn't have to do with the other. Now, I mean, do I feel for the guy? Like, not really. But, you know, again, part of that is because I don't know this guy. And there are times where if someone says something that I think is stupid and then they get into a jam, I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, right. I'm not going to wish it on you, but I don't feel for you.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and read the exact statement to give this a little bit more context.
This is the stuff about Ferguson.
The thing that what he exactly said. And this is why I may slightly differ from you guys. Someone asked him, do you ever feel like you're being forced to address these issues? And this was about Ferguson, thing like that. He says, they're not forcing me to do shit. I'm just going to stay black and die. I'm like, why? Because I'm black. So every time something happens because I'm black, I got to stand up. What the fuck am I? Al Sharpton now? I'm A$AP Rocky. I did not sign up to be no political activist. I want to talk about my motherfucking lean, my best friend dying, the girls that come in and out of my life, the jiggy fashion that I wear, my new inspirations and drugs. I don't want to talk about no fucking Ferguson and shit because I don't live over there. I live in fucking Soho in Beverly Hills. I can't relate. I'm in the studios. I'm in these fashion studios. I'm in these bitches' drawers. I'm not doing anything outside of that. That's my, This is long.
That's my life.
That's my life. Yeah, that's what he said. So
Yeah, no, it's not a good statement.
No,
so
that is
for,
not a good
yeah,
statement
yeah.
at
So
all.
like,
Jesus.
Look, I'm in these bitches' drawers. Like, what you gonna do? Yeah, that's a wild comment about Ferguson.
right. So that's what he said.
Right.
The first thing.
in fairness,
so the thing I got to.
in fairness-
the first thing saying why because I'm black. So every time something happens because I'm black, I got to stand up. Like no, so nobody has to stand up for you. Then you know. And so
Right.
that's the
Right.
stance I'm going to take. So sorry, bro.
Right. Look. Here's my thing, and I think, I can completely understand that perspective. I actually don't even 100% disagree with it. But I guess to me, I look at it like, okay, is somebody being a shitty idiot like 4 years ago? Like, does he still feel that way? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm also I am completely detached to this situation. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know A$AP Rocky, so I'm kind of like, I guess. I do. There's a part of me that feels like really kind of connected to the perspective of just like being a black man locked up abroad. Like, that's fucking scary. Like,
Yeah, I feel like being locked up abroad is and this is one of those things where I'm gonna say like all lives matter type shit. Like being locked up abroad for anybody is fucked up.
yeah.
Like just
and
period. It
look,
don't
he's
matter
in
what the
Sweden,
fuck- yeah,
right?
I don't know what ain't no black people in
Right,
Sweden.
you would think Sweden would be like, oh, like comes, like all the jails look like IKEA or whatever. I don't know, but apparently they fucking don't.
Because how many
So-
criminals do they have in Sweden? They're like, I don't know what the fucking do in this goddamn prison. This is weird.
Yeah, it's A$AP Rocky and like 3 other dudes, like the whole country. So yeah, I don't know. That's the part that I feel particularly like sensitive about. Is
Yeah.
like that would be a really terrifying thing. That being said,
Yeah, but at the
maybe
same
when you
time-
bring your ass back to the U.S., if you ever get out, you might think twice about not giving a fuck about your fellow man. Like,
yeah, maybe.
yeah,
you don't really
maybe,
think that-
and maybe that's the lesson he has to learn.
And I
don't know.
always look at the age when someone says shit like that.
right,
He was born in 88.
he's not a particularly old guy.
He was born in 88, so he knew better.
Oh,
When
he
said-
definitely knew better,
Right.
But he's also still
He's still in
also
his
still
20s,
a
but,
young
you know,
guy.
I mean, but
he
come on,
is. But it's not an excuse. I don't think you should excuse what he said about Ferguson. I think it's fucking deplorable. The question is, how do you feel about it, right? Like, not about how he feels about it.
That nigga's 30. He don't get a pass.
Yeah. Well, he said it like 3 or 4 years ago, so. But still,
Yeah,
he was 20 something. He was like 27, so he knew better. I don't give him a pass for that.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably on lean, just getting in them bitches drunk. Like, he wasn't worried about shit. But I mean, I guess the question is, here's a broader question. Do celebrities who are not political, black celebrities, do they have an inherent sort of mission to deal with these kind of things when they come up?
No.
Or do they have the right to just ignore it? Because arguably, if shit pops off in white America, like they don't go, hey, Taylor Swift, what do you think? Like, she just gets to, not talk about it.
No, they don't.
Is it fair that we have to talk about it?
No, he doesn't have to talk about it, but like that was just the wrong thing to fucking say. You
Okay,
could've
that's
been
a fair
You
point.
could have been like,
Yeah,
nah,
you don't
I
have
agree
to-
with you.
I'm really
you don't
not
have to
really.
talk
It's like
about
I'm really
the-
not
you don't
worried
have
about that. You don't have to talk about the bitches you fucking, the lean you drinking, and the designer drugs that you're snorting up your nose. What the fuck he was talking about? Like, no, just be like, nah, I'm really not. I'm really not that. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to get this money, and that's fine. Whatever.
right.
You didn't have to go
it's one
into on a
thing
long
to not
fucking
talk
rant.
about it. It's one thing to not talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to be like, fuck them bitches over there. I'm over here living my best life. I guess they should be named as soon as possible, Rocky, because I'm over here living.
As soon as possible, Rocky.
That's what it
I'm
stands for,
pretty
right?
sure that's not what it stands for. You old ass nigga. Oh, fucking hell.
So yeah, look, I don't feel
my
for
God.
him, but he's not obligated. He's not obligated to care about people, and I am certainly not obligated to give a fuck about him. So
Yeah,
Yeah, well, there you go.
pretty much.
Gaston says, I still kind of want a fun episode. I would enjoy hearing you guys do a black on black style mini review on the other shows in the network. I have an idea for a fun episode. It's a mini review of a short film that we've been talking about.
Oh,
wanting to
okay,
review.
right. Okay.
Wait, what?
You know what? Why don't we do that for the next preview episode?
All right, yeah, we can do that for the next
For a
one.
short film?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
That guy's a fucking psycho. Anyway, go
It's
ahead.
gonna be hilarious. Rayshana says, City Boys, if y'all can define and discuss, I'll be grateful and show my gratitude with chicken boxes.
I'm
don't
too
know.
old. I don't know. I know
I
it
don't
has
know what
something to
city
do
bo-
with like city girls, hot girl summer.
Oh, is
or
this
whatever
like-
the fuck?
Oh, is this like dudes twerking or something?
I don't know. Look, again, I'm too old. I don't have a clue. So sorry.
Yeah, I would still like a chicken box.
Yeah, I mean, if you chipping in for like salt, pepper, ketchup.
So,
yeah,
Nah, I don't
mean,
like
you-
fried
it
hard
had
though. Don't
all
do that. Don't do that. I don't like my chicken fried hard. Don't do that.
Fried hard with your dumb ass.
Urban Dictionary defines City Boy as a player in the all-star game of City Boys versus Hot Girls who fights for the respect of all men out there done wrong by women who act out for attention.
I don't think.
Nope.
By Little Duval.
What?
Wow. Okay.
No, I'm not touching that.
I don't. I don't
still
know what
even
any
know
of
what the
this
fuck
is.
that means, but I'm not touching that. Nah.
Also,
man.
here's an alternative description. I think it's probably more on par. We're so old, by the way. Like, this is the oldest we've ever been. A city boy is a male who do whatever he wants, like fucking bitches and getting money.
Like ASAP Rocky?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A$AP Rocky is a city boy.
That's,
I am personally not a city boy. I do enjoy getting money, and I don't like to refer to making love to my wife as fucking my bitch. So I will make a diversion on that one. I don't think she'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, please don't refer to me like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the definitions. I don't know if I like a City Boy.
Are you not a real ass nigga who don't give a fuck about your stank ass bitches? It
Yeah,
is about
that's
this money.
That's
I
the
think
one
that I
saw.
think that's
was
a,
like,
I think that's a
"God
lyric from a city girl song.
damn."
Oh, okay.
Real ass
right.
bitch don't give a fuck about a nigga something. I know those lyrics, but that's about it.
Or are you a chap in his 20s or 30s who lives in London, holds a high paying job in the square mile, and spends all his money on coke?
Jesus,
That sounds like you.
Shut up.
That sounds like
Ashford says, talk about reparations. As we talked about reparations on a previous episode, I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go back and listen to all 150 plus episodes to find out. He also says, what am I thinking about? The mermaid crap. Why do we need to be in their stories and not have our own? It's not about being in quote unquote their story. It's just about being in stories.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, The Little Mermaid isn't a white story. Like,
It really isn't.
yo, she's in the Caribbean with a Jamaican crab, nigga. She should have been black.
And listening to calypso music. Like,
Right. Yeah, knock it off. She was hanging at a coral reef. Why are you so white? That's what they should have asked. Nah, she should have been black from the jump.
Roy says, talk about Stranger Things. This is the wrong show for that.
Right.
Listen to the Nerdpocalypse, and I haven't watched season 3 yet.
I haven't finished season 3. So far, I like it though. I like Stranger Things.
Rashawn says, how about a game?
What does that mean?
We have a podcast for that. It's called Dense Pixels. I don't think I should be talking about any games anytime soon.
Yeah, don't do that.
Nah.
Very upsetting.
do that.
Brian says Micah review his kid. He's a 25 out of 5. He also says basically I was inspired by the show Review with Andy Daly, where he reviews everything, aspects of life, people, etc. It's hysterical and weird. 25 out of 5. That's my review of my son.
There you
We're not doing Soul Plane. And
Yeah,
if we
stop
do, we're
asking.
not doing it anytime soon. So, I mean, you can ask all you want. You know,
go. Let it die.
yeah. You ask again, I hope you get carpal tunnel from typing it. Summer says, I'm late to the party, but my suggestion would be the evolution of Jaden Smith from child actor to philanthropist, and how young actors such as him, Marseille, and others are doing more with their platform than just making movies / music.
I think it's dope. Like I posted
yeah.
that article about him doing that food truck for the homeless in Skid Row a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome, and it's vegan. I mean, so, ain't no meat in it. It's fine, I guess. but no, it's dope. Like, look,
I knew you like, I can't let that slide.
no,
Where you get your protein from?
like
Can't all be nuts.
like chickpeas. I don't know. Who knows? No, it's dope.
Fuck you, Jaden.
No, it's awesome. Like I think, again, we rag on millennials undeservedly sometimes, deservedly and undeservedly sometimes. But now, like, I understand, like. They're super woke. They understand that they have more privilege than a lot of others, and they actually use it for good, and that's dope. Especially like the ones people of color, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Like it really is, because they know they know where they came from.
I mean, if anybody comes from a place of privilege, it's Jaden Smith.
Yeah, like he literally didn't have to do a goddamn thing, and just be weird.
And
but
look,
it's fucking super dope that he's like, look. I know y'all. I know what y'all niggas think about me. It's fine, but I'm gonna do these nice things anyway. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone from a total weirdo kid to actually kind of being his own man, which I appreciate. I like that one song. I've never heard anything else by him, but
Icon.
I like Icon.
Yeah,
Icon's a good song.
I don't know about the rest of the shit.
I like that song in the context of Creed 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It made it to my workout mix. I'm not mad at it. I didn't hate the Will Smith version where he jumped on the song.
Yeah.
That was fine as well. It was a little too Mexican-y for me, but I didn't hate it. Yeah. No, I like that Jaden Smith is doing like real shit. That's dope. I think it's kind of dead and people talking shit on him.
Right.
Like it's hard to talk real shit on the guys like
I'm trying to feed the
like,
homeless, my nigga. Like
feed the homeless and like,
Like,
making have a water company that's not polluting the environment. You're like,
and the best part about that is the fact that his father and his parents are just kind of like they just let him do what he wants, and this is what he decided to do.
yeah. I mean, I guess there's something to be said about giving your kids as many opportunities as possible, and then just stepping back.
And not just him. What's the girl from Blackish? Well, you got Marcel Martin, but the other one, like the older one, like she's like an activist for a lot of shit. Yari Shahidi.
Yari Shahidi.
Right. Like,
yeah, she's pretty dynamic, actually, very.
So I when Jaden Smith first came on the scene, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's Will Smith's kid. And then I went through my hater phase where I didn't like him.
Everyone did.
And I realize now that it's just because he's Will Smith's kid, right? Like that kid did nothing wrong to anyone.
Right.
No, he's just a weird kid.
Yeah. And for some reason it got on my nerves. But then like you ever realize like, wow, I really am just being a hater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. And then I grew the fuck up and I was like, oh shit, yeah, let me leave that kid alone. He's doing shit.
Because he was accomplishing things.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if he wasn't, like, even if he was just Will Smith's kid, living life, like, he ain't hurt nobody.
Literally the opposite.
Yeah.
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 I mean, shit, I won't even walk on the same side of the street as a homeless person. he feeding them.
You're an asshole. Jaden is doing the things that mere mortals cannot do, like walk on the same side of the street. Wow.
Jeremy and Isaac both talk about basketball, the NBA free agency. They know we don't know anything about basketball, but
so you just guys being dicks.
Well, no, they I think the main crux of the argument is to speak about how basketball players have a tremendous amount of agency in how they want to dictate their careers. And it's the only one of the big three. I don't count hockey. It's the only one of the big three that I think does. This is the only one where you have players like recruiting other players to come play with them.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful, man. If I ever got my son into sports, if he decides he wants to be into sports, and I want to introduce him to sports because I think competition is healthy, to develop that mindset of being competitive and wanting to win. I would introduce him to basketball. One, because you're not hitting people in the face, and you're not spearing people over a fucking football. And two, baseball's so fucking boring that I don't want to watch it. But I'd watch him play basketball. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be a waste of height like his father?
Let's hope not. But he might not. He might not get that high. I mean, he favors his mother. So
yeah, my mama was fucking like 5. She's 5'3", and I think my father was like 5'8".
Was your father fucking 7'8"?
No, my father's 5'8".
Oh
Yeah,
Which is pretty tall. I would argue.
yeah, stop it. So for me to be like 6'2" was a little weird, considering my genes. Maybe someone in the past that was super tall in my family. I wouldn't know. But anyway,
Oh, sad.
So yeah, when it comes to basketball players, get that money, sell the team, Dolan, and don't let your father be your manager, Lonzo.
Oh, I saw the Big Baller brand is not doing well.
Yeah, I forgot
They're selling
that
those
was
shoes for
existing.
like
Fire
$50.
sale going on.
Yeah, dude, they were at a garage sale. Yeah, you want to buy these Zo2s for $36? Weren't they $500? Look, do you want to buy them or not? God damn.
And lastly, because Brian comes back, but it's silly. Lastly, JP has a number of items. Number one, do another One Gotta Go show. That was funny. I will. I just need to think of topics. Number two, I'm curious have some of your opinions changed over time with some of the movies that you have reviewed, particularly some from the early shows.
yeah, that was like
that's a
6
good
years
question.
ago. That would be a while to. I can't even remember the shows we did.
There's one episode I would have liked to redo because I don't think we gave it
Which one?
I don't think we gave it the seriousness that it deserved. And it was because like when we recorded was like 2 weeks after we had watched the movie, which was Glory.
Oh, okay.
That's one. I don't know that we ever will do a redo on that, but that's kind of one that I always felt like was kind of a missed opportunity in a lot of ways.
I can't remember how I felt about Red Tails.
That movie
Most
wasn't
of
good.
these,
Like, that's how I felt.
yeah,
Not good.
it had to be that it wasn't good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I do remember 100%. You did not enjoy that movie.
Yeah, most of these
Let me go back.
are pretty good. I'm satisfied with what I've said about them. My opinion hasn't really changed. Newlyweds, no, I didn't really care for that.
What the hell is Newlyweds? Was I
but if
on
you
that episode?
But there's
Yeah,
an
you
example. There's an example here of a movie that I enjoyed as a child, and then when I grew up and we did it, it didn't really hit as hard for me, and that's Friday.
Yeah, that one did not hit as hard for me either.
No, not at all.
The comedy just seemed dated.
Yeah. 3, talk about some behind the scenes stuff. Fellow podcasters, y'all have met funny stories, shows that went off the rails, any hosts y'all tried but didn't work out. For some reason, these guys keep bringing Deacon, Dorian, Donovan, D'Angelo, Davey, whatever the fuck his name is, to substitute for me, and I have no idea why. I mean, the man can't hold my jockstrap.
That's true. Well, it's funny because the ongoing beef between you and Terrence and why you guys are never on the same full episode at the same time. It has caused us to have to bring in a ringer, which is really just fucking sad. I mean, you want to talk about bottom of the barrel? I mean,
Yeah.
Dorian is it.
Like when we have
Just,
no other choice, we got to bring that nigga on. I mean, it's fine.
It's like,
It's just,
I mean, he just waits outside. He's like, y'all need me to fill in? What? No, nigga. See you next week.
In a previous format, when this show was audio only, we had guests, And the sad part about going to video is that we can't really have guests anymore, because nobody wants to see the three of us listen to a disembodied voice as they make their point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
We did it once when we were testing video with Phenom Black, Brandon from Where's My 40 Acres.
One of the greatest episodes of all
on
time.
the Belly
Yeah, that was
episode.
great. That was a very good episode.
And that's a very good episode, and you should listen to it, and you should listen to his podcast. But I remember looking at some of the video that we tested for it, and it was just the three of us, like, just sitting there as he's talking, making his points. And that's not
weird.
Yeah, it's not good to look at. But there are people that I would like to work with. I like the Kings of Sport guys. They're really cool. I would like to, but Marcus he's a jet setter. He flies all over the place. And I think Nate is based in like one of the Carolinas, so that's not going to work. But there are a lot of DC based podcast people. We all like listen to each other, but we try not to step on each other's toes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Behind the scenes stuff. I mean, I don't know what kind of behind the scenes stuff you want to know.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We're worse pricks than you think.
Yeah. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, mind your
Yeah,
business.
you have no idea. Mind your business.
And
Yeah, that's about it.
Movies y'all want to do, movies y'all never want to do, and reasons why.
yeah, Soul
I
Plane.
mean,
Yeah,
Not
I never
doing
want to
Soul
do
Plane.
something. I just don't.
I'm not doing.
Nothing
I'm
about
not
that
doing
movie
for Color
appeals to
Girls.
me.
They can do it. I'm not doing it. I'm sticking.
I
by
kind
it.
of want to do for
Yeah, go
Color
ahead.
Girls.
Yeah, I kind of
You go
do.
ahead.
I kind of do
That's
because
fine.
I feel
You
like
can
it's
get
just a
Deacon on it.
depressive
Yeah, you can
mess.
get Deacon on for that. That's fine. He can step in for me.
Damn,
Perfectly fine.
he'll
I
do
know
it.
He'll do it.
He'll do anything. He just wants exposure because he's a loser. No, I'm kidding. That's just mean.
We're not doing that. That rapist movie.
Oh yeah.
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, we're not doing anything with Nate Parker. Somebody made a comment which I thought was not a bad comment. I thought it was a reasonable comment. They were talking about one of our recent episodes, and they said, well, they liked the episode, but they didn't like the fact that we gave a hard time about Nate Parker because he beat his case, right? So it was unfair to slam him. But they said, they can understand if we feel some kind of way, like personally. I would just address that by saying that people beat cases all the time. It doesn't make them innocent.
OJ.
Right. We know that the criminal justice system is not like, we can't make the argument that it is imperfect all the time when it comes to us, but except for when it's a narrative that we support. You know what I mean? Like it is fault. It's faulty, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But beating a case does not mean you're innocent. Neither does being arrested. Right? Like, you can be arrested and arraigned and be found guilty, and that doesn't mean that you are guilty. Stay tuned to when they see us, right? So, like, I don't think it's a good argument, but I got his point, and again, it's not a bad point, but I would just say the Nate Parker thing. I think fundamentally we're all bothered by it, and there's enough black films, and Nate Parker is not a big enough person to, like, we just can't ignore him, right? He's not a big enough star in the black community where he's in the thousands of movies and everything else. So no, we don't have to do it. We just don't feel required to do it. And by the way, like we said, when A Birth of a Nation came out that he did, we're not telling people not to see it. Like, you can see it if you want to see it. Like, I'm not in the business of telling people not to see movies if they want to see them. I'm in the business of telling you what we're not going to review, and what I'm personally not going to see. So that's it.
Yeah.
Ideas for the show y'all might do in the future, since the Bond franchise is caught up, and at some point y'all will finish Seinfeld.
Yeah, we kicked around a couple of ideas.
Yeah, we got a couple of ideas, but we don't want to say them out loud yet.
because people steal.
Yeah.
And answer why we all get one No Time to Bleed up, one quote unquote No Time to Bleed episode per month. That bleeds into Brian's question about No Time to Bleed and Eric of grievances please bear with us. This is
it's a little crazy right now.
Yeah, it's very, very just all over the fucking place right now. We do appreciate your patronage. Look forward is steady Eddie. Every week you get a new episode to look forward.
Yeah.
And every week that episode is at least an hour and a half, usually 2 hours.
Most times 2.5 hours.
Right. And
Very tired.
Brad and I, Brad is always up to talk James Bond and spy movies. It's usually my schedule, but we try our best to keep that show on a monthly basis.
So I can speak to No Time to Bleed. So No Time to Bleed is a little harder because we have to wrangle 3 of us at a minimum, and I try to wrangle 4 people. It's just we do those on the weekends. We don't do them during the week, so it's a little bit harder for us to all get together. Now that Micah has a kid, now that I have a kid. So it becomes a little bit difficult. One of the things we're trying to institute so that we can do them a little easier is that the No Time to Bleed episodes will not be on video. They'll just be audio. So we can dial in remotely like we're doing now, to do those. So yeah, it's just our schedules are nuts right now. Like we have 2 new parents on the, on the network, and that just makes for a lot of craziness. Obviously, Mike has been a parent a number of months. I have been one for about what feels about 13 seconds. So yeah, schedules are just a little insane. And another little bit behind the curtain. I'm often not here on the weekends because I'm traveling to Virginia because my mother-in-law is dying. So it gets a little hectic in our schedule, which is one of the reasons why we have to push back when they see us. So it's not that we don't care or anything like that. It's just right now life is just crazy for us. So we do appreciate you guys paying and listening to the stuff we are putting out. But don't worry, we have not forgotten, and we'll be back on a normal human schedule soon, very, very soon.
Yeah. So that is the end of the questions, comments, concerns. Thank you all for answering. I like to do these every once in a while just to see what you people are up to. And
stop asking about Soul Plane.
And I like to do them when we can't think of shit to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, that's
why we asked the question.
Because sometimes we just be out of the black people loop, because y'all sometimes y'all are insufferable. Not gonna lie. Not y'all. I'm just talking about black people as a whole. Y'all get on my goddamn nerves. You do.
Well, some days. So here's a behind the scenes. Sometimes when we're trying to find a preview topic, my normal question to Mike and Terrence is, "What's on the route? What the fuck are they complaining about?" And then we go from it.
That's a true story.
But yeah, look, it's 100% true.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, we try to pick topics that are not always super depressing and anger inducing. Right. So this is a good one. And maybe we'll do this one like every couple of weeks, every like 2 months or something like that. Just kind of get a beat on everything. I think that's it. I gotta go. So, we will see you guys next week for, episode 1. What is this? God, we're so unorganized right now. 156, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And again, that is on Netflix. You can watch it right now. All right, guys. Later.
Take it easy.
See ya.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.